What's up, Star Hunters? It's me, Oriansenshi. Sorry for the late upload. I know I'm a couple days late here, but things have been super hectic on my end, and with the snow, I can't get anywhere with internet to do my upload. Super sorry about that. But, moving on. In my last video, my last character build video, I made a PL6 Leon on the first day on the job, and I explained equipment. Right? And I could tell from the viewership that you guys weren't super sold on that video, and that's okay. A lot of people don't really have fun playing that kind of a thing. And I also gave an example of a survival horror kind of game where your goal isn't so much to defeat the monsters as much as it is to run for your life, to achieve objectives, and to just survive the night. And that was a lot of what I explored in that. That was cool. I thought it was cool, and it was fun. So today, we're going to be looking at Leon Kennedy from years later down the line when he's become a special agent. He's been injected and cured of multiple viruses, and he has his special signature weapons that give him access to a lot more things, where instead of being equipment, they are now devices, and he's just a lot more badass. So we're going to be jumping right into that. Let me know what you guys think. I hope you enjoyed this video, and more details about the future of the channel are going to be at the end. So you ready? Let's go. Alright, Star Hunter, so now let's jump right into Leon's character sheet. Now, you'll see his base ability score stayed the same at 44 points, but some of the numbers went up, so I'm going to jump right down here to his powers. Now, the previous Leon, the only powers he actually had were his modern cell phone, right? This has expanded on that. I have the virus modification, which is an increase with stamina, strength, agility, and fighting capability, as well as a speed, power, and extra protection because his body has become just a lot more durable. This overall just makes him a lot stronger, a lot deadlier. Even with no weapons in hand, he's still quite capable. Now, as noted by the unarmed strike being 7 damage because of his strength. The stamina plus 3 brings his stamina from 5 to 8. The strength plus 3 brings his strength from 4 to 7. The agility plus 3 brings his agility from 1 to 4. Fighting plus 2 brings his fighting from 6 to 8. So, overall, still pretty solid. I didn't give him any extra dexterity or intellect because Leon has gotten more proficient in certain things. You'll see when I get down to the skills. But in some ways, Leon is still Leon, right? Now, let's go down to his weapons. Now, remember before I did everything via equipment. Now, the thing with equipment is normally very standardized and easy to take away. This is, these are devices that are easily removable, so he can be disarmed. But he can extra effort, and they're just a lot more customized. Whenever you get into heavily customized stuff, you really should be treating them as devices instead of equipment because it's a core part of the character. So we have his knife. It's strength-based damage 3. I gave it improved crit 4, so it crits on 16 to 20, and penetrate 4, which is good. And I gave it an alternate effect where it can be thrown, which makes it ranged. It does the same amount of damage. Penetrate 4. It doesn't have the improved crit, but we're trading the improved crit for subtle. Subtle 2 means no one can detect it because when I was going through the death battle on Leon, I saw that he could throw his knife so fast no one could see it coming. Now this can be used to perform surprise attacks. It's up to your GM how the subtle works in Throne. I would normally treat this as giving it an like some kind of a +2 or a +5 to on hit because the enemy can't see it. Well, actually more of like giving the enemy's dodge defense a -2 or a -5 depending on the situation, just because they're not going to see this knife coming. Now getting down to his Silver Ghost, his custom pistol. This is a blast 12, so it's a ranged damage 12 with accurate 1, so it gets a +2 to the on hit, which is where we get the +8 for it. It's Silver Ghost. Okay. All right, anyway. Which is where we get that. And that hits like a truck. That actually is a lot more powerful. That's like 3 times more powerful than his previous pistol, right? And then the other weapon I gave him was the red rocket special, or the red grenade special, or the red tip rocket launcher. I've seen it called a variety of different things. This is his special customized rocket launcher that he has used multiple times in the past to great effect. Now, this is arguably the most broken thing here. I would say if you are using this character, talk to your GM about this. Sit down, talk to your GM about this design, right? So rocket launchers in the game, they are usually a range damage weapon with a partial amount of burst damage. So it's not the full amount, it's a partial amount. And then what that does is then you fire at the target. If you miss, then they have to roll a dodge check against the splash damage, right? And everyone around them has to roll. If they get hit, they don't have to roll against the splash damage. So it's this catch-22 of, like, when you fire at someone, they are, like, something is happening to them, right? And that can be very powerful. Some people consider rocket launchers, the way they work as written, to be overpowered and unnecessary, which is why I say talk to your GM. This I cranked up to 11 here. I made it blast 15, so if it hits the primary target, it's 15 damage to the primary target. But burst 10, because burst 10 is as high as it can go for a PL10 character, which is the AoE of 10 damage from the 30-foot burst. Now, it has the limitation that he only has 5 shots, and at GM discretion, can spend a hero point to get 5 more shots, or 1 shot, depends on how your GM rules it, okay? So that's the biggest change here. This red rocket special also, I don't have it written on here because I didn't have space, but this does fire damage. Let me see if I have space here. Do I have space here in the end? Yeah, cool. Cool. All right, fire damage. This does fire damage because it's a thermo grenade, right? Awesome. Now, if you look here, you'll see pretty much everything here has stayed the same except for a couple things. We got rid of the leadership. We got rid of the inspire. And the reason being, like, Leon, as he went on and started to give into alcoholism, started to give into just the stress of his life situations, was not as capable of a leader. He was a more capable fighter, but was not a capable leader, and just kind of drew into himself and stopped really being a team player like what he was when you see him in the beginning of Resident Evil 2, where he, fresh out of the academy, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, trying to lead, give orders, coordinate with teammates, so on and so forth. He's ordering Claire around, coming up with a strategy or plan of action. Now, everything else is pretty much the same. Range attack 6, close attack 2. Now, the equipment, I did give him 2 ranks in equipment, which is 10 equipment points, and that was used for the healing spray. Healing spray, heal set limited to self. It's a standard action that is pretty epic, and it is at GM discretion for how much healing spray you have access to. I like giving that as just like a potion, something you have access to. Now, for his skills, this is another thing that changed. I ramped up a lot of his skills. His acrobatics and his athletics went up by 4, making him more agile. I took away his insight because one thing Leon just got worse and worse at is knowing when people were lying to him, and instead reinvested in investigation because he got good at tracking things. He's got 10 ranks in investigation, perception, and persuasion. And then I gave him 10 ranks in vehicles because he's very proficient with different vehicles, whether it be motorcycles, tanks, helicopters. He's just very, very good at it. Power level 10 Leon, good with his knife, good with his gun. He's good with hand-to-hand combat. As I said, he's got the dodge and the parry of 8, and the toughness, base toughness of 8, but because of his virus, that gives him +4, which puts him up to 12, will of 5, which stays pretty standard. Now, his fortitude got jumped up. This is something that is technically a virus bonus, but I wanted to have that as a base thing he has of just his body, his ability to push off diseases and things is just ramped up to the extreme because of all of the things he's been exposed to. So I definitely wanted his fortitude to be up there through the roof. Anyway, I hope you like this design. Now we're jumping straight into story time. Look forward to that as we go and we see how he deals with the zombies now that he has a bit more firepower on his side. Are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so this is where we do the fistful of zombies. Now, normally I do a fistful of Nazis, which is 6 PL, 6 soldiers, minions, 1 PL6 soldier, non-minion that has a rocket launcher, and 1 tank with a crew of 5 PL6, I think it's like 6 or 5. Soldier minions inside that crew its cannon and its machine gun. That is normally the Fistful of Nazis run that I would do. I can tell you I've run this character with that and he just kind of rolls over all of them because of just how it's designed. It's a very simple but effective design. And this is a bit more fun because we have him fighting the exact same group of enemies that he had to run away from when he was fighting as a PL6. If you remember when he was PL6, Leon first day on the job, he dealt with the base zombies pretty well, which are the ones from the end of the Basic Heroes Handbook, which have a dodge of 0, parry of 1, toughness of 3. Their attacks are +1 to hit with 2 damage for close range, and they get a -1 to their initiative. I replaced the soldier non-minion with the liquor, which was essentially a zombie non-minion, except I gave it dodge and parry of 3, toughness of 5, wall crawling at full ranks, and a ranged and elongation attack that is a +5 to hit and 10 damage, as well as it can do that as well at close range with its claws and its bite. And then I replaced the tank with Mr. X, what was it, a tyrant that had I can't remember if it's Tyrant or Nemesis, but he had the power dampening coat on him that if he was set on fire and it burned through the coat, his toughness went away, but his damage output skyrocketed. So, but he was slow and very sturdy, so I made this a dodge and parry of both -4, so super easy to hit, but he had a toughness of 20, and all 20 of that toughness was impervious. And for his close range attack, he had a +6 to hit and did 10 damage, and because of his strength, he could throw things for 10 damage and also +6 to hit. And again, the whole thing with his he was slow. I gave him speed -1, so he only moved 15 feet per round. Gave him power attack, immunity to fatigue, so he can make the 2 attacks whenever he needs to if he gets in close to represent those combos. And the whole thing when he gets lit on fire, which was after he gets lit on fire, he gets a -15 to his toughness, but a +5 to his damage. So he just gets, he hits a lot harder. He gets a lot stronger, and he's not something to be messed with. But again, after that point, because of the coat coming off, the eyeball being a big target, the chest being a big target, he's just a lot easier to hit and do damage to. So yeah, that's the whole thing. I've got a whole crew of PL2 zombie minions. You could say it's 6, you could say it's 12, you could say it's 16. They still all die on the first turn. Alrighty, so let's do, this is Leon, post, let's say RE6. As he's coming down a corridor, he turns a hallway, and it's all over again. Ready? Let's go. Leon turns the corner, sees his old enemy Mr. X and a horde of zombies and a licker crawling along the wall. He feels a sense of deja vu and pulls out a silver ghost. This isn't Raccoon City, and he isn't a rookie cop on his first day. He picks off the zombies like nothing, just taking routine shots. Mr. X runs at Leon, swinging wildly as he gets in range. His hit connects, but Leon's able to shrug off the attack when he braces himself for the incoming blow. Leon mutters, "Nice try, buddy, but you're a few years too late for that to scare me." The liquor climbs along the wall and fires its tongue at Leon, but it misses as Leon backflips out of the way. Haven't been scared of one of those for a while. He takes aim and takes a shot at the liquor on the wall, not wanting to deal with its tongue. He hits it and it does some damage, but it survives. He keeps moving, getting around the backside of Mr. X. Mr. X is able to turn around easily and walk to Leon without having to sprint. He takes a swing, but he misses wildly. But then he plants his feet and then takes a second swing. This one connects. Leon feels that punch right in his gut. The liquor crawls till it's right above Leon, no more than 10 feet away. It fires its tongue at him, but it misses again. Leon, seeing that he cannot afford to be cocky, runs back, putting distance between himself and his target, pulls out his Red Rocket Special, firing at Mr. X. He lands a critical shot. Mr. X is just barely able to withstand the blast, but it destroys the power limiter cloak, and his mutation begins. He sees the tough outer skin getting torn and shredded as muscles start to break through. The liquor is caught in the blast and is completely destroyed in the fireball. Leon pushes himself beyond his limits to reload as fast as he can and get a second shot off, hitting Mr. X square in the chest, destroying him. "If you excuse me, I have a job to do," Leon says as he sprays himself with a healing spray and turns around to walk out. And yeah, so that was Leon versus that same group of enemies. So this is 4 power levels later. This is a few games later, a few years later. And this same clump of enemies that gave him so much trouble before with having to spend a hero point to try to be silent to deal with the liquor, with trying to find ways around Mr. X. All of that is just, it's a non-issue. He's able to completely shut down any number of zombies just with routine shots because of the damage output of a Silver Ghost. And he has the takedown too. And then when it comes down to firing the Red Rocket Special, just the splash damage is enough to completely incinerate the liquor. And once the power limiting cloak is burned off of Mr. X and his toughness goes away, yes, his damage goes up, but at that point it's just one more shot and he's incinerated. 15 damage is huge. Anyway, so this has been the Fistful of Zombies run for power level 10 Leon. And like I said, I did run him through the Fistful of Nazis run, and it went pretty much the same way. He kind of just rolled up, routine shot the soldiers, the soldier minions. The big boss wasn't able to take him down with the bazooka. He fired the Red Rocket Special at the tank. Was able to do some damage to the tank, splash damage, staggered the non-minion, and also the splash damage ricocheted through the tank and was able to knock all of the tank operators unconscious. And then Leon just ran up and used his knife on the non-minion and the commander and just brought him down. So it ended just as quickly. I honestly feel that this is legitimately one of my most efficient builds ever. It has some of the most damage output, and it's just a really simple build. It's a dude with very powerful weapons and a lot of skills. He doesn't have a vehicle himself, but he can use it, and he's just good at his job. Not sure what else to say about that, but yeah, I hope you like this. Now, as far as moving forward with the channel, I hope you guys are liking the Let's Plays of Sunrider. I also have some of my viewers from my old stuff when I did League of Legends that say they want to start sending me some content, that they would like it if I start putting on here, so I might be doing commentary on their video. I think I'm going to edit it and watch their video and be reacting to their League of Legends game, which could be cool. Maybe being a sportscaster, having some fun with that. We'll definitely see how that runs. And again, I'm going to be trying to push for at least 3 uploads a week, which is going to be the character creation, the Sunrider Let's Play, or some form of Let's Play. And the third one could be a rules exploration, could be a book report, could be any number of things. I think for this week, my thing is going to be a rules exploration where I go on a rundown of all of the add-ons you can put onto powers and what those look like. So look forward to that. Also, I'm not going to be having music behind these next few videos because I'm dealing with some copyright stuff right now, and trying to work on identifying what music I can and cannot use as I move forward, because I do want to keep growing and growing my brand. Let me know if you have any tips or suggestions. Leave down in the comments below what kind of characters you'd love to see me work on next. Next week I have planned for a double feature that's going to be featuring 2 characters that could be really exciting, and instead of a Fistful of Nazis run, you're going to get to see 2 non-minions go at it and hash it out. And it was there's going to be 2 heroes really just showing off their powers. I look forward to seeing that, and I look forward to seeing your reactions. Have a good one, everybody, and remember the motto: shoot through the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always, always, always enjoy you some memes. Have a good one, everybody.